Hi everyone, I asked who is ready and I am not ready. I'm still putting out tweets and replying to messages. But no, let's get started. So today, everyone keeps talking in the Discord, everyone keeps mentioning Tailwind CSS. I was just thinking I haven't fixed Nightbot to put the Discord link in the chat, but I'll fix it another time. So everyone keeps talking about Tailwind CSS, and it does look quite impressive. It's not like Material or Bootstrap where you've got all these components pre-built. It's more of utilities. And I thought, well, let's try and build a website with it. It will contribute to my 100 days of code, and you all can help me. So let me know if you've used it before in the chat, and let me know if it's something you would like to use once you see what it looks like. Diraj, awesome to have you here. You're first. Great to have you here. Thanks for joining. Diraj, have you used Tailwind CSS before? Let me share my screen, and you can see a bit of Tailwind. So this is just some examples. You've got the responsive header, and this is the HTML and the classes that are pre-built from Tailwind, and then you get this sort of header, which I think looks pretty good. So to get started, I've got an app on the right and it just says hello world, like really boring. But Tailwind is added to the app and there's nothing else going on. I was really keen. Hey Stephen, awesome to have you here. I'm sure you talk about Tailwind in the Discord as well. So if it goes horribly wrong, I'm going to blame you. But hopefully, D-Raj, got lots of work to do. D-Raj, good luck with your work. Thanks for popping in and saying hey. Leave me on in the background. Just turn the volume down a bit and leave me on in the background. Therefore, I can kind of give you a wave and you can occasionally pop in and say hi. Or if you have any questions, do ask, let us know, and let us know what you're working on. So yeah, I'm just keen to have a play. Let me make this screen bigger so you can kind of read hello. And let's have a look. Let's take one example, right? If I copy their example, we'll go through it. I don't understand it yet because I haven't read it, but if I bring it up and I say paste it in above, we make it a bit bigger as well, above the hello, we don't need the console. There we go. And I save it, and then we go back to the website. We see what their example has. Okay, it's gone into responsive mode because it's a bit small, so we make it a bit bigger, and it goes into the normal. So they've got a responsive nav as an example, and then we can customize that further. Let me make this a little bit smaller so it doesn't go responsive. There we go. So that's the idea. I'm going to delete that because I think we should try and build something from scratch so we can maybe learn something and see. Let me know what ideas you have and what we should do. So maybe we can add it in bit by bit and see how it goes. Stefano, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Have you used Tailwind CSS before? I know you're a React person, but this is not going to be focusing on React or Angular or Vue or anything like that. I want to kind of focus on trying to put together just a portfolio site that I can use and other people can use and contribute to as well. So I haven't used Tailwind before. I've just installed it today, and I'm really keen to have a go at using their utilities. They do have a few examples. I do like the card example. They do have some good examples, but the idea is it's utilities and you can build what you want. No, you haven't, but you're interested. Okay, I'm interested too. I need a Tailwind expert. So Stephen, you've been nominated as the Tailwind expert because I think you mentioned it in the Discord channel yourself. So I think Nightbot's gone to sleep because if I do Discord, I'm pretty sure I should have fixed this before. Yeah, sorry, Discord's still busted. Hopefully we don't get spammed today. So let's get started, right? Let's have a look. So I think we need a header to begin with, right? If we're going to build this website together, you always need a header. You might not have a navigation in it yet if there aren't multiple pages, but we should get a header up. So going to their examples, I do quite like this, and it's just clean and simple, but let's see what they've got. So the first thing they do is they've got a nav, and they've got various colors, and let's bring it in and have a look, right? Let's have a look at what they've got. We'll bring it in piece by piece. So we'll keep hello there. Actually, it should be hello world, right? I'm not a real dev if you don't do hello world. So they've got the nav first. Let's have a look what this is. So I have got this VS Code plugin that allows me to hover and it tells you what it's doing. So we've got the navs flex, then the items are aligned center and then justified between, and they've got flex wrap, and the background is teal, and it's got P, which will be a padding of 1.5, P6. So we could remove the color or change the color. We'll just leave it for now, and then we'll just build it up, and then we'll customize it a bit further. Again, I'm so new to this. This is the first time I actually look at this. Amazing, hello world. Yeah, that's as far as my app has gone. So if I save that, then hello world will appear, and I don't know if this nav will actually do anything. Let's have a look. Yep. Oh, where's download come from? Oh, copied that in by mistake. Save it again. You can see, okay, we've got this green bar at the top, not quite a nav yet, and we've got hello world underneath. So I haven't got a logo, so I think that the logo part isn't too interesting for me. But do we want navigation? Probably not. I probably just want like a GitHub logo at the top right, and maybe links to socials. We'll see. Let's just put one. Let's put one up there. They've got the download on the right hand side, so I could replace the download with GitHub. So let's have a look. They've got this download here, so I'm going to grab that with the div as well. I think they've got this whole thing with responsive, but I don't think we need that just yet. Let's do the parts that we need. I probably don't even need the div. So you've got download, and we can put it to the right or to the left. Again, we can have a play with that later on. Don't want to customize it too much. Keep it simple. So they've got the actually, if we go through what they've got, inline block, that's to do with the display. Text is small. PX is the padding left and right. Hopefully you can all read this. Padding left and right, and then you've got PY, which is padding top and bottom. Any project suggestions? Maybe a grid of 100 days of code, and you can tick things off or something like that. I'm keeping this really simple. I actually partly want to redo my website, so I was using this template. If you look on the right hand side, just a really simple template and a bit of information about me, but I was quite keen to maybe embed some YouTube videos, embed some pictures from events, and maybe have some people that I collaborate with and the communities and like different sections. So I thought I'd just start off really simple and just kind of get some sort of layout, and then I can work on that later on. Spectra, gross. Which part is gross? My old website or my new one, which has got hello world? I mean, hello world, that's like advanced stuff. So, and you got to start somewhere, right? And I think the great thing about the way I'm starting here now is anyone can pick it up. If you've been only coding for like a day, or you've been coding for like 10, 15 years like me, it's to show that anyone can pick this up, but also it is picking up something new is quite hard. So I want to kind of show my struggles. I'm quite keen to show people that it isn't, a lot of things work out the box, but a lot of things don't work out the box, and we're going to find out and have some fun too. The Pooh Brown, that is the old one. Hey, that's like an orange. That's like my colors. No? Okay, we'll change the colors. Maybe we'll just stick to teal. That's too much like their default. We will have a change. We will have a look. But the colors I'm not too worrying too much about, because we can change things quite quickly, I think. So if I delete this, I do have IntelliSense, so I've got teal up to like 900, and it shows the examples, which I think again is really, really nice. Let's just go for a dark again, just to make it slightly different to their example. But again, I'm not doing a color palette just yet. I was hoping more people in the chat would have used Tailwind, and they can give me some suggestions and ideas. So what else have we got? Line height, leading none, line height of 1. It's got a border for that button. I think it's okay. Oh, it goes white when you hover it. Looks good. Text white, border is white, as we saw. Hover, border transparent, and then on hover, the text goes to teal 500, and the background goes to white. And MT is margin top, and LG is for responsive. So I'm going to delete that because we're not doing responsive just yet. We will get to that. But let's just get something kind of working. Not sure about the padding at the top. That kind of looks a bit weird. Let me see. What do we have? Hover, margin top 4. Let me remove that and see how it looks. Yeah, that looks a bit better. It's kind of looks more organized now. Never heard of it. Spectra, I thought you knew everything. Well, I'm glad I found out. I'm aware of something that you're not aware of. I don't know it. Didn't want to say, oh, I'm aware. I know something you don't. I don't know it. I'm just aware of it. But we're working on it. So what else would you put on the website? So on your website, what would you put? And if you're watching and you're having fun laughing at me trying to figure this out, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It does support the channel and it's free for you. So yeah, what should we do next? So we have a title. We should probably put my name actually in the title. Let's have a look. I can remove this on the left. Get a bit more real estate, and I guess I can put that in a span potentially. Again, we can change all this because the website is kind of my name. So now you've got download to the right because the flex is doing its thing. My text isn't that great, so let me see if I can figure out. Rebuilding your website is quite a good idea. Thanks, Stephen. Is that because the old website is so bad? Oh no, that was Spectra that really didn't like the old website, but I'm sure the old website is really out of date. So let's have a look. So you've got class. I think this is a really good way for all of us to learn Tailwind and try and figure it out. So I think color, again, probably should be the same as the button, which is text white. So if I save that and bring it back up now, Eddie Jowd's in white. But probably want it like bigger and bolder because it is the site title. How we do that, I am not sure. Text, is that just color? Yeah, that is color. I did see something for size and I can't remember. Oh, text small, okay, hyphen large. Okay, let's have a look. I got a bit larger. I want it like super duper large. XS is small. Oh. Extra large, 6. That might be too big. Yeah, that's way too big. But at least we know it works. No, it's good to starting off with a sidebar grid and then being able to send your content as your website. Text LG, thanks. I think I've got it on low latency, so there isn't too much of a lag. I should put it on super ultra low for YouTube. Yeah, this big bar down the side, I think, is kind of a lot of waste of space. So I can't decide if I should have the big bar down the side or the big header along the top and then have a big card in the page or something like that. Give me vanilla any day. Yeah, Andrew's a big fan of vanilla. I'm not a huge fan because then you've got to worry about cross-browser. I think I like the utility idea of, I've used Material and Bootstrap a lot, more recently Material, but we've got the pre-built components. However, then to customize it makes it harder. So I thought, using something like Tailwind, maybe with utilities, then you can kind of build what you want. Let's see how we get on. And then I thought that's a good balance than raw CSS, trying to reset things and trying to do all those sorts of things. Okay, 6 is way too big. Let's just try 2. I think that's a bit better. 2 is good. Okay, Hello World is massively bumped up there. So we need to bring Hello World down and probably like, I don't know, maybe some sort of, I don't know, strap line or something. We will... and then write a bit more text in here. So rather than Hello World, we probably need something like, I don't know, let's put a div here for now. Or even, it'd probably be like section or something. But let's do, we need some lorem ipsum, I think, rather than me trying to write something. Let's have a look. There is a site for generator for that, I'm pretty sure. Lorem ipsum generator. There we go. Generate. Let's just grab something like that, maybe a bit long. So let's grab part of it. And then if I put that in here, it should probably be, it'll be a P or maybe a H2, I think. Again, we might have to work on this a bit. And then you can see it's there in the page, but okay, it doesn't look good. So if we go to, do we want it in a card like? Probably not, because image at the top. Maybe some, I don't know, tags along the bottom might be quite cool. Okay, we'll get to that. I think I need to build up to it. So I've used Tailwind loads. Initially, when I thought about how you need to create custom CSS for widgets or even setting consistency. So I used to think Tailwind was a load of rubbish initially. Then when I realized about how much, right? Okay, so Stephen gives it a thumbs up. So we're on the right track. Anyone else in the chat who hasn't said hi yet, who has or has not used it, let me know. What do you think of my website so far as well? How would you rate it out of 10? I think it's kind of, a 1. It's moved up from 0. But if I go to the documentation, I did see something on text. So here we go, typography. What did we see? White space, word break. So we should probably put it in a box maybe of some sort. So I did see something with a border. Here we go, border with a radius. So I think maybe some sort of box like rounded LG or something might be quite good with a gentle kind of round. Let's have a look. So in here, let's just go class rounded LG maybe, because it's kind of like the header, the title. That'll work. Rounded LG. Oh, it's probably, you can't see it because it hasn't got any color or anything. So we probably want to do something like, let me see, background color. I don't know if you want a color or a border. Maybe a box effect, right? Let's have a look. So shadow LG or something. Shadow LG. Okay, a bit better. We need some sort of margin on it, maybe. Let's have a look. Where's the download button? FYI, meeting coming up soon, so not here for long. No worries, Azing. Thanks for dropping in and saying hey. Good to have you here. This is more important than the meeting, or have us on in the background in the meeting, just like you have the TV on, but you have like Eddie Show on instead. So let me put, and I think we need a bit of a padding and margin, because if we look, the writing is squished up to it, and then the box is squished up as well. So let's have a look. What have we got? So in here, we probably want, it's margin all the way around. So just M, if I understand correctly. Oh, and it says in the IntelliSense, you can see it's R1 REM. So let's just put that in and see how that looks. Okay, that's a lot better, I think. And then when they're writing, we'll need a padding. So maybe a padding, maybe the same amount, 4. Again, let's have a look how it looks. Okay, I think that's looking a bit better. We want more of a background color on the card. I'm not sure. What do you think? And we can leave that for now. Then we can go on to the next section. So the sections that I was, I might actually do that. Yeah, do it, help my stats as well. So thank you very much, Azing. I really appreciate it for leaving running in the background, even if it's muted. Trying to think, what else would you want on the website? So you kind of got the strap line. I should have brought up some good example websites. If anyone has any, do share some links in, and then we can kind of see what kind of good websites people have. And this will be pushed up to GitHub, open source, so you can contribute, have a look, make some suggestions, raise some issues. So I do want some testimonials on here as well. I don't know if they'd be at the top or lower down, and we can always move things around as well. Let me think. What else? What else could we need? So we've got the download. Actually, download should be GitHub. Actually, let me just rename that so that isn't confusing. That should be GitHub. Doesn't go anywhere yet, but it goes white. I think it looks pretty good. For Eddie, we've got maybe that text is be a bit bigger if it is kind of like the strap line. H2. So we could put a class, I'm guessing text. Oh, not that way. Text. 6L can be pretty big, right? Probably like 2, 3. I don't know, because it's in the H2, so I don't know if it, yeah, it gets quite big and quite bold. Don't like that so much. Does XL by itself work? That looks a bit better. It's still too close to Eddie Jowd, maybe, so maybe that doesn't quite work. What else do we have? Different colors. Not small, not XS. Is there a medium? Maybe just by itself is medium. Okay, we can work on that later. I'll keep it how it is because it needs to be smaller than the title is what I'm thinking. So what else can we put on? Oh, I lost the chat. Sorry, come back to the chat. Hey Jake, how you doing? Good to have you here. Are you new? Or have you been here before and just not said hey so much, or maybe I missed it in the chat? Apologies if I have. Do let us know what your background is and what tech you work in. Give yourself a bit of a shout out. You can see you've got the usual suspects here as well. Always causing trouble, teasing me for sure. Tailwind is a fun thing to lose your head when learning initially, but then you realize that you have no custom CSS in the Vue, React, Angular. It's amazing. True. I suppose you can do some extra customization if you need to, and then put them in components and reuse them, which is really good. New to the stream, I was the guy in Discord. Got you. Thank you very much for reminding me. My memory is terrible. Cool. Awesome to have you here, Jake. Let's have a look. So what else? Okay, let's just do some, I don't know, maybe some YouTube videos, like some cards where I can embed some YouTube videos or some thumbnails. So I do have some examples here. So if I scroll up to the top and go to components, let's have a look at their components for cards. And we will need to put it into a grid so they wrap responsively, but we'll worry about that later on. I was thinking a card like this one actually might work quite well. Also with something like this at the bottom as well too. So this is like a good starting point. I like it how the image, the thumbnail goes the full width and so forth. Let's just try that. So let's have a look. Cool. Okay. Maybe lighten the color of it too. Is a bit dark with the white, but it's too contrasting. What the header or the text here? I'm guessing you mean the header. I'm not worrying too much about, I think that's from 900 to 800. I'm not worrying too much. It's a bit lighter, it is better, about the color, because I will change it from teal to something else. I do need to come up with a color palette and then adjust it. So yeah, I want to go to that orange, but I know you won't like it because you call it brown. So we'll get to that. I'm just trying to, I guess, do the layout a bit. I always find that's harder. Well, I say that color palette is really hard to decide. But this is more on the, I suppose, on the coding. But no, thank you very much for the feedback. I appreciate it. It does look better now. I still want that orange, but I know you won't like it. I need to have a think of a color palette. So let's just do something like this card. Okay, let's have a look. So what they do, should we copy it all? Let's cheat, copy it all, and then we can go through it one by one. So under that, they've got max width, okay, of small, 24. So that's the width of the card. They've got it rounded. Then they do the overflow hidden, and I guess so the image can go the full width, and they've got a shadow that's large. Once we have the grid and stuff, you can modify and set the color palette and how much text and images, etc. Good for color palettes. Cards will look cool. Just copy and paste and then find out. Yeah, that's what I do, right? After 15 years, I'm still a copy and paste developer. So that's quite funny. So this image won't exist. Let me just grab an image off, I don't know, off Google or something. Code. Let's just get an image of code. And I can use my own images later on. This is just as a placeholder. This one looks quite nice and blurred. Open image. Let me get it in. And then if we go back to this, here we go. And then I'll replace their example with this one online. Save me downloading and adding it. So if I hit save, let's have a look how that looks. We have a card and we have my image. We have the text and so forth. Okay. I do like how they've got this underneath here. I don't know what logo or profile picture because it will probably all be me. So it's kind of doesn't make sense. But I do like the idea of having a small footer or something. So let's see how they actually did that. And we do need to sort out a grid system, and we do need to nudge it and probably put it all within a container actually, so that, yeah, it looks a bit better. I'm trying to think that heading card at the top would be nicer if it was kind of doesn't go the full width, like it's shorter, and then make it more pronounced. We'll get there, and with your help, we will get there. Hopefully everyone is still with me, is still enjoying the video. Any questions, do ask in the chat. Hopefully I'll have the answer. Again, I'm new to Tailwind CSS. It's my first time actually using it. But someone else in the chat might be able to answer. It's all about community, right? This sounds like a plug, but on my site I'm working on, we use card idea on our bounty showing page. And that might give you some inspiration. It's not a plug. No, if it's open source, I'm more than happy to bring it up and have a look and use it as for inspiration. I think you sent me the link on Discord, right? Can you just send me the link on YouTube chat so I don't get distracted with going through Discord messages and so forth? See, I'm thinking about this bit at the bottom. So let's actually go through what we've got at the moment before we start adding to it. So overflow, shadow large, and then we've got the image, which is full width, makes sense. And then underneath we've got a div with both text in it. It's interesting they're using a div rather than a H for that. I'm guessing HTML won't be so happy, but you've got the coldest sunset. is font bold, text extra large, and margin bottom of -2, which is half a rem. And then in here is a p tag. So it's gray, dark gray, and text base. Okay, resets the size back down. And then underneath we've got these tags, which do look quite interesting, don't they? How easy it is to kind of create these tags or these pills, however you want to call it. You know what would be a first with embedding a YouTube video? You know how the thumbnail faces get more clicks because you use your thumbnail's face for a card author image. Hopefully I understood that correctly. I read that quite fast in my head. So you're saying to use one of my thumbnails as the image here, and then make it clickable to go to the video. So embedding a YouTube video, you know how the thumbnails with faces get more. Oh, the thumbnails with faces get more clicks. You're absolutely right. You could use your thumbnail face for your card author image. I could, but wouldn't it always be the same on all the cards? What is the VS Code extension that tells you what CSS overriding the class? I got it from Tailwind. Let me have a quick look. I did it today. I installed it today. Tailwind. Must be this one. Yeah, Tailwind CSS IntelliSense. Got some good reviews and lots of downloads. I used this and I thought it was really nice. Again, they've really thought about the whole ecosystem. When it says Jonathan reading, you should use a YouTube thumbnail. If it were a list, it's a stupid idea. Okay, there are no stupid ideas. So let me go back to this. Right, for here, you should use a thumbnail for the small part. I was going to use a thumbnail for the large part at the top, is what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. The tags are quite good because I could also say what the video is about. Like, is it about Angular? Is it about React? Is it about kind of DevOps or something like that? Okay, well, and I can have a date, I suppose. This could be, yeah, the date is quite good. The person's name, it's just always going to be me, so that I don't think having the name there, but having that text there somehow looks quite good. We'll work on it. Let's put a second card in, and the thumbnail large is the way forward. Yeah, I think so. I think that's good. Hopefully I've understood your message correctly. I'm reading it fast. Not very good. Out of practice. I haven't streamed in a couple of months. Using different avatars was a stupid idea. There are no stupid ideas. We try it, and they might not be as good as another idea. It doesn't mean they're stupid. My ideas are always stupid. So let's have a look. So I did read that. Let's get into some more coding. If I did change this, if I want to put a maxed width on this, so I was thinking this bit at the top, this card, let's make it like center on the page and make it smaller. So I think we could put, let's see if this works. I've got an idea. So max width of large, if I save that, it should, yeah, brilliant. Okay, looks good. And then I want to center it. I actually want a bit larger than that. Can I go larger than large? 3 large? That looks better. And then what I'm thinking is, I think I saw something that was like MX Auto to center it or something like that. There we go. See, I quite like that being centered. Got some good margin. Maybe it need margin 4 all the way around. Yeah, I think probably just need margin, I don't know, maybe 6, bit more space. And then I will duplicate this card here just to get grid going. I'm doing this in Angular, but I don't want to show the Angular side because I want to show more the Tailwind. Well, me learning Tailwind. But what I was thinking, I will put this into a component, and therefore I don't have to just copy and paste it like that. But for now, we will do it. So it appears underneath, right? Okay, so we need to get some. Stephen, I never ignore anything. It's always good because also even if someone comes up with an idea that isn't such a great idea, it might spark me or someone else to have an idea and then build on it further. So anyone watching, if you've got an idea, no matter how good or bad, mention it in the chat because it will spark, I'm pretty sure it will spark someone else to have an idea that builds on it. There are no kind of like new fresh ideas, they're just ideas that are built on. And it's all about collaboration, right? I'm learning and we can try it, we can see what it looks like. And even if we don't use it, it doesn't visually look the way we decided we wanted to look, I would have learned something more about Tailwind CSS. So it's definitely worth trying. So let's have a look. Okay, so this doesn't look right. I've got 2 cards, probably want 3 cards, 4 cards, and then we need to make them do the grid stuff. The flex magic, flex or grid. So I put 4 in, and the reason for that is I'm guessing we can have 2 or 3 wide, and then they will drop below. Center that stuff. Yeah, we're gonna work on it. Right. Okay. So let's center it. Right. Flex box grids. Okay. Let's have a look at this. Right. Here are some examples. Okay. Which one do we want? Responsive grids. Oh, we will get onto that. We need to do the responsive side. Yes, we'll definitely need to get onto that. But for now, let's just do... Yeah, we'll do a grid like large and then work. They always say do all, right? Do smaller first is what I remember for responsive stuff, rather than big. So actually, so kind of how it is I guess correct for small, because if it was like this, I need to center it though. You're right, that it doesn't look right. I get where you're going with this. I'm a bit slow today, like I said, bear with me. So we do want to center it, so we can center it, and we probably need to put it all into a container to center it. I'm guessing. Let's have a look. Div. I'm the div here. And div. And then nudge that in. Close that div. I think there is a container magic class somewhere I remember seeing. I think it was for layout. Here we go. Aha, layouts. So container. Okay. Here we go. So if we do class container, there was a center, wasn't there? Or did I invent that in my head? No, I did invent that. Container MX auto. Okay, that didn't center very well. We should inspect that and have a look. But I want to don't have much real estate. Make this a bit smaller. Make this a bit bigger. Get some real estate so we can see how it's not centered. So if we inspect this, so who's watching? What have I done wrong? That's not that wrong one. Here we go. There we go. There's the container. Container is the full width, but it's not centered. Okay, so let's have a look. How's that font size, by the way? I know it's massive. Let me remove this. Oh, I don't need that on the side. Okay. Everyone's still here, right? Hey in the chat and let us know. So I should write Tailwind in the chat. Actually, give me a rating on how the website's looking so far. How is our website looking so far? I give it like 1.5. We've improved from the 1. It's WF full if you want. Ah, okay, cool. W full. Oh, interesting. Okay. Is it because I got the MX Auto? Is that why it didn't like it? I should really read the docs more. It looks fake. Yeah, well, I'll copy and paste some content in there. Don't worry. And I've just noticed making it smaller, this card does not look good. So we will have to put some responsive on that in a moment. But let's just get, yeah, because when it's wide, that title at the top card looks quite good. As it gets smaller, we probably want to then nudge it so the width isn't quite as big. We'll get onto that. So you can have sort of margin left over the first thing. It's 2/3 is probably what you want over 2 full. Okay, I should really read this. Is there whereabouts would it be in the docs? Box sizing? No, not box sizing. Display. Let's have a look. This is the flex stuff. I suppose this is kind of what we want to do. It'll be block when it's on mobile, and then it will go to the side when it's on both your cards. Flex container. The top thing doesn't want to rely on margins. MX4. Oh, have I messed something up? Where's my MX4? So this is my container. Oh, it will tell me what it is. Let's have a look. Container width 100%, and it's got it has got media queries on it. Right. Okay. Interesting. That's good. Changes the width, and then the full is 100%. Okay. Let me see. Replace W4 with W23, 2/3 of the viewport. Right. Okay. Let's have a look. What have we got? W. I don't think there was a 2/3. 2/3, really? Oh, there is 2/3. Aha. Nice. Okay. What does 2/3? So it's going to be width 66%. I'm guessing as it goes wider, it might work. No, it still doesn't like that. Let me see if I can grab one of their examples. Let's have a look. See, I love showing the challenges that people have. I know, so on the YouTube videos, they're really short and concise, and you just see like the perfect answer, which is good for learning, but I think it's also good to show the challenges as well. And MX Auto. Wow, Stephen, demanding. No, it's helping, so it's good. I'm joking. MX Auto. Let's have a look. Aha, magic. See, we know the magic commands. Okay, so it's in the container, but it's to the left of the container, because I'm guessing, yeah, so the container's like that. So it's to the left of the container, but we are going to nudge things up in Flex in a moment, so we'll get to that. You never see the struggle. Yeah, because someone said to me, when I said to them I was going to do learn Tailwind CSS on a live stream, they're like, no, you must practice it, what you're going to do beforehand, and then do it on the live stream. And I thought, yeah, but that's just fake. That's faking it till you make it. Let's show the struggle. Let's see it. I should have read more documentation properly, so I just know where to look. But it's working all right. So on mobile, I think it looks good, right? It's adjusting itself. It's looking good. But when we go bigger, we want to still adjust that. So okay, we'll work on that. Let me do the Akshat. Good to have you here. Thanks for coming to say hi. How are you doing today? So let me have a look at this top one. I want to adjust that. Let's get a bit into responsiveness with that. And that should make it easier for underneath to do all the flex stuff. So let's have a look. Or grid. Let's see. So where's, what am I looking at? Oh yeah, responsive, right? So responsive. I did see a section on that. So let me have a search. Responsive design. Here we go. So width, okay, perfect. So this is what we'll need. So I want this bar at the top to kind of always look, so this bit here, this card, not bar, always to look kind of like that. As it gets smaller, I want it to get smaller itself. So you can do MD width, large width, and so on. So you always start off, my understanding is you start off with the, go back up to here, with the original. So the moment we have got max width is that, and then we probably want to go, we could probably remove the max width actually. So we could go width, how big is width 16? 216, what's that? W16, Eddie. How big is that? That's going to be tiny, like way too small. Yeah, way too small, don't you know it? So we're going to want to go, I think, can you go extra large or something? What's the biggest number you've got? 10, 12, 16. 16 just seems small. Can you go multiple times of 16? There must be some secret sauce here. If I put that in, so those were for the medium, large, and small works as it's meant to. No, small didn't work. It was large that worked as it meant to. So you can go bigger. So if I go width for mobile would be, I mean, I'm guessing 32 and the others need to be made bigger. See, 32 is really tiny as well. Maybe if you do it as a max, maybe that does make more sense. Let's have a look. So we've got max. We remove that to put that all in line with the others. So if the max width is that, can I do something like this? So therefore, do max width. As it gets bigger, will be say 4. And then as it gets even bigger, the max width will be 5. And then we probably want, this will default for all of them. So I'm guessing, let's have a look. Right, for small, that's way too big. Okay, let's make it a smaller, not 3XL. Let's have a look. What else have we got? Maybe just large. Still quite big. Okay. And in fact, let me cut those for a second so you can make sure it's not obeying any of those. Yeah, I thought it might be overwriting some of those. So for mobile, and this I can use this actually to do it, it'd be better. iPhone X. But I thought I'd just keep it simple for now. So we probably want it to be even smaller. Maybe MD, I think it was. No, small. Yes, okay, something like that, right? You've got a bit of a gutter on the side, and as you go bigger, then I want it to eventually jump. So if I put these back in, so if we go when it's on small screen, we want it to be probably large. So it should jump bigger. Okay, it jumps too big, but we get the idea. W16 stuff is to do with rems. I never touch that. I always use width. Oh, a proportion for one column of 12. Okay, that's good to know. Width 2/3 is 1/8 of a column of 12. Okay. Does your first paragraph long not just need a container? Are you showing off again, giving me all the right answers? We can do that. You're right. Maybe I'm trying to be too smart into trying to actually justify kind of how big it is. We can try container. Let's have a look and see. I should actually read the container part. I did see that somewhere. Where was it? Container. Oh yeah, you're right. It adjusts automatically for you on container. Why am I trying to be smart? Well, I learned a bit about how it works, so I'm happy with that. But when you know, it's like anything, right? When you know how, it's just a lot easier. Let's have a look. So container looks good. It's adjusted. It's adjusted again, and it's just adjusted again. And is there one smaller? That one is a bit too big, so I could just put a margin on it, I guess. Margin 6. We do have a margin 6 on it and a padding 4. The margin gets lost when it gets small like that. I don't know. These things I'm mostly guessing. Well, your guessing is better than my guessing at the moment. As you can see, it's really helping. So that's really good. If we've got any new people who have joined, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Let us know what you're working on at the moment. Let us know if you've used Tailwind before, and what your thoughts on it are, and what your thoughts are on it. If you haven't used it before, what your thoughts are on our new website that we're building. Again, for mobile, it's a bit tight. I think for the rest of it, it's fine. Just for mobile, it just seems a little bit tight. So I guess I could override the mobile. So for small, they have 640. So we could probably, I'm probably looking too much into it really. Went small and went maxed width. Small, I'm guessing. How big is small? We should know. If it's 640, then it doesn't make sense because that's what container will do. Why is it not auto-completing for me? Oh, because there isn't a small. Oh, yes, there is. Extra small. Extra small is, I can't read it. It's gone off. Did it say 20? Let's have a look. Oh, I busted something. Oh, missed the quote. There we go. Okay, 20. Right, okay. That's still probably... And now it jumps. Right, okay. So that's small for the screen display. And then that goes bigger. Why? Because of the, I guess the default is 100% for none. Can you go smaller than small? Max width of 640. Okay, I'm not going to worry too much about it. I don't want to get hung up on little details like that. Okay, I'll leave that off for now, and we will just use the container, whatever it is by default. And for the rest of the sizes, it looks okay. How are we doing on time? Been going for 45 minutes, I think. I know you didn't know anything. You love the jokes between everyone. Okay, so now back to the cards with the repeated information. Now it's to try and get it so that they nudge next to each other, and then for mobile they're below each other like they are now, but for larger they are not. So we've got it in, what have we got it in at the moment? We've got it in container with width width 2/3. If I remove that, actually, if I remove both of those, I don't think will much change. Okay, yeah, right. They nudge straight to the side because. Okay, the whole container's off to the side, right? Okay. Let's have a look at their docs again. If anyone wants to jump in with some answers, I'm more than happy to take that on board. So we've got container, got this. Okay, I think we probably need to go now to there's Flexbox or Grid. I know Grid doesn't work in some IE browsers, but do we care? Probably do. Grid just seems nicer. Because then you can go grid and then responsive, just go like that. I think that's really, really good. Yes, that's perfect. It's exactly what I need. I just copy that. Is that cheating? I'm sold. Let's just try it. I'm quite curious to see how easy it is for it just to work. But it doesn't have... Do I still need container is the question. Probably if I do want it... Oh, is it actually a whole div? I didn't copy the class. But it's using flex, so it might actually break. I don't know if container's using flex. Let's just try it without first. Let's see what that does. Okay. Next to each other. And as you get smaller, they get bigger, and then it does 2. Not bad for copy and paste. I want a bit obviously space between them, spread out, and all the rest, but that's not bad for copy and paste. Copy and paste it all, then we'll learn retrospectively, myself included. Okay, good. Love the copy and paste support. Okay, that's great. But this one in the middle works quite well. Obviously, we need spaces between them. Hey Jez, how you doing? We'll be checking out Tailwind CSS Shore for later. There is also Tailwind UI, which is pre-built components, which does look quite interesting. You have to pay for it, but they do have like pre-built components which look like pretty good fly-out menus. They do have page layouts as well, which look pretty cool. So they have also little components and graphs and stuff like this pre-built. But I want to build them myself, so I might get inspiration from these. But I don't want to get the UI and just buy it. Although it's not very expensive. I think it's like $200-300 or something like that. But it's interesting to see how they've done it visually and do something similar. So that's my goal. We've got inspiration. We'll work towards it. Stack Overflow masters. So we need some spacing between them. So they've got spacing between there. What have I missed? Oh, gap 4 they've got up here. So you can do a gap. This one doesn't have a gap. It doesn't, but they do kind of show a gap, which is kind of weird. How their example shows a gap, because I can't see a gap in their code. So we'll just put a gap on. Gap of 4. Let's have a look how that looks. We have a gap of 4. Awesome. Okay, I like that. Still a gap of 4. Still a gap of 4, and still a gap of 4. So it's always got a gap of 4, which I think is quite nice, even when it's vertical. Obviously, we need to work on this a bit, but there's always that gap between them, which I think is important. And then when we get too wide, it goes... See, I think that looks good, but when it goes to here, it jumps thinner. We need to kind of work on those as well. I think that is not quite right. But it's looking better, right? Okay, it's repeated. But how, out of 10, how would you give the website now? Are we approaching a 1.9, a 2? What do you think? Not bad. I haven't written any CSS. Just some simple classes in HTML. Jennifer! It has been so long. It's so good to hear from you. I hope you're doing well. I'm just here for a minute. May head to a march. It has been, I haven't done a live stream in like 2 months. It has actually been 2 months as of yesterday, although I did do a live stream yesterday. And it's great to be back. It's great to have the support of the community. So thank you all who encouraged me to get back into live streaming. So it's great. Good luck at the march. I hope all goes well, Jennifer. And I hope you're doing well and you're still learning and geeking out as always. Let's catch up on Discord when you get back from your march. But be safe. Unfortunately, there's not a Discord. Unfortunately, these are not in Discord yet. Copy and paste. Stack Overflow. Cool. Jez, how are you doing? What are you learning? I know you're a big fan of, I can't remember, there was a JavaScript library you're a big fan of. Let's have a look. Right, so again, and with these tags, I don't like there's no spacing between them. I wonder how these tags were done. Were they done, so if I do these tags as a component, then I can just adjust it in one place, abstract it out. If I make any changes, it changes across all of them. So again, I'll show you that probably over the weekend. But they haven't got much spacing either between them. They're using, I think, more flex rather than grid. Let me see what they're using nothing, I don't think. Yeah, it's fine, not using anything. MR, margin right. Probably just want margin on all of them, but I need to change all of them individually, so I won't do that for now. So forget the tags for the moment. So I think that's looking better. Still not sure about things like this. Need to figure out how to do that better, but it's looking a bit better. I like that. This bit is not quite right as well. I need to work on that too. For an hour live stream, almost an hour, not being too bad. Ah, Elm, yes, Jez, it was Elm. I remember you writing like the game Mario World or something in Elm or something like that. Yeah, React's the buzz at the moment. So what else? So we've got the kind of strap headline. We should probably include Font Awesome or something to get icons. I don't think this has icons in it. And then we've got some YouTube videos. I'll probably have a photo gallery, which I can use similar sort of cards because instead of being a thumbnail to the video, it will be a photo. And then with some tags, maybe the event it went to and all the rest. So what else could we do? So maybe that's okay for now. It does need a lot of work still, but I think that's not bad. A section underneath, testimonials. Probably be quite similar to up here potentially, although with a bit more writing. A bit more writing, because underneath you'd say who it was. Maybe let's just put that in. We should be able to do that quite quickly. So if I grab that and put this underneath, it will still need to be in the container, or would it be separate? Probably separate again. And what I want to do is, it won't be a H2, so I'm guessing this is going to be a div. And then underneath there, I want to put a P of the person, a bit like the card example, which have I lost now? I have lost. This one down here, I think, would be really good to show who it is, maybe with a picture. Yes! This is where we can use the thumbnail of somebody. Loving this. This looks really interesting. Can you explain Tailwind CSS instead of Bootstrap? Oh, why Tailwind CSS? Yes, so right at the beginning I mentioned this, but it's good to mention it again for anyone who joined. So I used Bootstrap many, many years ago, and I used it for a long time and loved it. It had a bit of utility-esque and a bit of component-esque, and then I moved to material design, and that was very component-driven, and that was pretty good, but you can't customize it very much without a lot of kind of work, and a bit with Bootstrap as well. So the idea of Tailwind CSS is just utilities. So there are no components, and these component examples they've got are built with the utilities. They're not actually giving you any pre-built components. So it kind of allows my creative design to flow, which this doesn't flow and is not very creative. But it allows me to take some inspiration from examples I've seen, like from their cards and other things, and do that. So it gives you a lot of the tools out of the box, the building blocks out of the box. That's my understanding, and people in my Discord channel have raved about it. Stephen and a few others. And so, yes, it does look pretty cool so far. It allows me to build things. Let's see. This is all I started this using Tailwind CSS for the first time on this live stream under an hour ago. So let's get some more Lorem Ipsum. Actually, no, it would just be a name, right? So it would be person's name, and then we want the thumbnail. So let's actually have a look how they did that. We can steal the idea. Shh, don't tell anyone. So what they've done is they've got it in flex. I'll leave that for the moment. They've got an image that's got a width of 10, height of 10, rounded, full, margin right of 4, and then they've got the image, and then they've got text small, and then they've got these two text. Okay, let's just, we're all friends here. Let's just steal it. Do we need the flex? I don't think we do. Let me, let's steal the whole lot. You know what? Let's keep it simple. Short on time. let's steal the whole lot. So if I steal that there, oh, what have I done? I put it in the wrong place. I want it to go underneath the writing that we need to make bigger. So if I save that, how does that look? Whoa, that looks terrible. But obviously the picture isn't showing. That's why it's got the alt text behind it. So let's get a picture of someone online. I should actually, on my old website, which I know you already love, I should better actually, here's a picture. Let's get this one. Open image. If I can grab that URL and then just put that in. Copy and paste development. Love it. Let's change my title to copy and paste developer. Right, okay, so we've got that. I think it looks pretty good. Maybe move it over to the right, put a bit more spacing. This writing is obviously very similar to up here. I don't quite like it too much, but we can change it. So this is the person who would have written the testimonial. So I can ask you awesome people to write some testimonials, and I can have a whole list of testimonials of people. If it gives you quick prototyping utility classes, which gets your website looking pretty decent within a couple of hours. I don't understand CSS Flex at all. I find with Flex, I think I understand it. Well, I think I understand it. I use it, and I learn something new, then I don't understand it, and I move to Grid, forget about Flex, understand Grid, then realize on some browsers it doesn't work, and the client wants Flex, so I leave Grid, head back to Flex, forgotten how to use it, learn it, forget how to use Grid, and it just goes around in circles. Senior copy paster, love that, Stefano. That's me, senior copy paster. I'm not even a front ender. Yeah, I just to come up with designs. I think is quite hard. And I kind of like how out of the box it's kind of hasn't got designs, but with the building blocks gives you designs. So it's pretty good. I think it's pretty cool so far. Let's see. So we need to make a bit more space over here. So we were saying that if we want to split a space over here on this one, we should probably put margin top, or should we just bump the margin down from the bottom one? We've got margin 6. If I go margin top and give it like, I don't know, 4, how does that look? So it bumped it down a little bit. I think it's pretty good. It's looking quite nice. I don't know if it needs to be in a card. I'd like to have a card style with a shadow. Not sure if it's too much like up top. If I remove that, and if it looks better, no, that looks worse. Maybe I can give it less of a shadow or something, right? Shadow large. We'll just give it a shadow small. Subtle shadow. I don't know, we'll work on it. Maybe all the shadows should be the same. I'm not a designer. We'll work on it. We'll get there. You can use Tailwind Purge, which goes through all your templates, and if you don't use, for example, it won't bundle it. That's pretty cool. I'm using Angular, so Angular does a lot of tree shaking as well, so I'll have to check if I need to do extra with that or if that works as part of that. My best explanation of Tailwind is if you know basic CSS and you can translate text size to whatever text you want, like SM, and then if you're on a multi-developer project, there is an inconsistency. Yeah, the inconsistencies on the project is a real killer. People don't look for stuff, so they just create the new style again, and then you have like 20 different font sizes across the site, rather than 4 or 5 that get reused over and over. Tailwind Content allows you to override certain things. Yeah, I did see that, and your own style guide. I'm going to be vanilla at the moment. Like, I can't remember who said it in a live stream once. I think it was in the quiz last Friday, or the Friday before, on the Code Mortals quiz. They said, my styles is whatever I get from Bootstrap or Material. I can't remember which one they said, but they definitely said one of them, and I really laughed a lot. So we got a testimonial in there. And again, I'll pull these out into components. Let's put a second testimonial in there to see how it looks. In a bit more of a bigger gap. Probably not so much margin on this one at the top. Margin probably only 3 or 4, maybe 4. Put it back to 4. I have to change it in 2 places because they're not in components yet. And I probably want the text to be a bit not so oomph, maybe. I don't know if I want to make it grey. 900 might be, rather than having it. Let me see. We can compare the two then. A bit more subtle. Looks exactly that looks the same as that to me. I don't think that made any difference. It's too subtle. I think 800 or 700 might be too That looks all right, actually. It's 800. Okay. Sold to the grey text for 800. Oh, didn't mean to cut it. I meant to copy it. There you go. Okay. Not too sure about this everything having shadows, but we'll see. Right. Not bad. Like I said, and if we were to recreate this, we could probably do it a lot quicker now that I'm more familiar with some of the styles, some of the classes. I need to learn more about them. And for the next live stream, I'll probably continue this at the weekend, but for the next live stream, what I'll do is change these images already before the stream so it's a bit more friendly, and put some real videos up. I don't know if I should have them as so you can hit play or put a thumbnail. Have to have a think and see. Testimonials. What else would we need on the site? Need some images, but they'll use the same card as this. If it's a video or an image, I think it'd be the same. Got a strapline on the top. We'll probably need a description. I didn't really have very much on my old website, so I have got some text. Oh, we will need social links. We will need those. So we'll probably need like some sort of 1 hour. Yeah, with some talking, saying hi to people, and those sorts of things. So wouldn't really say it was 1 hour of actual work, but it's not too bad. I don't have social links I should put at the top or put at the footer. My social links are quite important, so I do want to kind of maybe put them at the top. I wonder if I can get one last bit of feature in before. I haven't got icons at the moment. I'll probably add font awesome, but for now, I wonder if I could add I don't know. No, but it will maybe look weird. I don't know. Let's have a look. Let's see. Let's duplicate this, and it will just say GitHub 4 times. But obviously it'll be Twitter, YouTube, etc., and so on. I don't know if that. And we probably need a bit of spacing behind them as well, and around them, padding. So we could. So if I remove the duplications, and I just put padding X, so it's left and right, is 4. If we put margin X, I don't know, it doesn't need to be 2 maybe, and then duplicate it. Let's just see how it looks. Yeah, it's got a bit of space, so I could duplicate it 4 times. Again, this will be put into a component, and then we can write, probably GitHub last, so I'll probably have it as like, I don't know, YouTube, Twitter, and we will put the icons in. I think it really does help on socials. Twitter, LinkedIn, maybe we need kind of like up and coming event section. Oh yeah, that might be quite a good one. Any ideas, you drop them in the chat. Other sections you think like my personal site would need, or anything you've seen on my personal site which is good. So I think there is the content side that we need to work on, and the design side, and learning Tailwind CSS together as we do that. So let me just put a title in for again, we'll probably reorder these, but up and coming events would be quite good. So what can we use? They do have forms. I did like how they have this form in Tailwind CSS, and it isn't a component. They've just done it with the styles. I think that looks really, really nice. Do quite like the grey background actually. Ooh, should I change the background of my body to this grey? What grey is it? Okay, that's for next time. We'll have a think and see. But the other idea, and they've got an example of alerts, which is pretty cool. I can have like alert, next event coming up soon. Looks pretty good. Again, just utilities. Right. One thing I was going to look at was titles. This is quite an interesting personal site. Recommended readings. Recommended resources. It could be like general. Oh, that's a good one as well. Okay, I need to put these titles in. Let me just put them really vanilla in, and we can kind of sort them out later. So it was, what was the first one? I forgot already. Hello, Eddie. What was it? So I just say recommended resources. Oh, up and coming events. Or future events, maybe future events. What else are we going to have? Past events. It's pretty good. Probably put future first, and then recommended resources, communities. What communities do I belong to? I think. Yeah. Okay. Good idea. What other ideas? Make a few notes for next time, and we can see. Open source projects. Oh, I can't believe I forgot that. That's like number 1. Open source projects. Edibot. Need to work on that still. Need to do an Ionic mobile app for Edibot to read out the database. What else? Open source projects. Okay, I think that's pretty cool. Right, I think we should leave it there. Everyone watching, thank you so much for joining me over the last hour and 10 minutes on this live stream, learning Tailwind CSS. I really enjoyed it, and you made it so much more fun. And thank you everyone for the help, especially Stephen for helping me out and giving me pointers. I do need to read up on various things. You have a read up too. That's for everyone. You all have a read up, and let me see what features we can use, and maybe we can simplify certain things. We will abstract these out into components to make them more reusable. And don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe already if you haven't, and hit that bell button so you get notified. And let's continue the chat in the Discord. We should have a Discord link somewhere. Let me find it. 1 second. I'll just find it in an old stream. Is that kind of weird that I go to an old stream to find the Discord link? I don't know why Edibot is awake, but I don't know why Nightbot is asleep. So thank you very much, Nightbot. That is one thing I do need to fix. I'll probably do that now. Let's have a look. Still can't find. And has anyone got the link to the Discord channel? I can't find it anywhere. Oh, it's in. It's in the comments of one of my videos. Not comments, in the description. So I pick an old video, I have all my social links in the description. So let me just do that now, and I can share you the Discord channel, and we can continue the conversation between live streams, between videos. I do have a list of videos coming out very soon. I don't know if you can read that. Probably not. I'll read them out to you. So they're not in order, but I have numbered them. So number 1, I want to do a video on how to create a Discord bot with TypeScript. And then I want to, number 2 is how to then deploy that Node Discord TypeScript bot to Azure using GitHub Actions. So that's like really cool. It's really simple when you know how. A bit like, I guess, knowing Tailwind. But when I was trying to figure it out, I spent probably like a day trying to figure out how to use the GitHub Actions plugin and deploy it to Azure. And I could show you all now, probably like in 3 minutes. It's really simple when you know how. So that was really, really cool. I want to do that as a video. And then number 3, I can't read my writing. How I found something. I don't know. I found something and I was going to do a video on it, but I don't know what it was. But after that, number 4, Ionic to read the data out of the database for the Firebase for Edibot. And then I want to do an Angular material for Edibot, but I think you might do like Angular and Tailwind maybe. It can be more like a dashboard real time because it's Firebase and Firestore. We have Stefano here, and he does React. He could do like we have got a React actually UI waiting on that. So Stefano, if you want to get involved in open source, do that. Yes, I've got quite a few videos coming up. And if you want to get involved in open source, let me show you, if I can find it, that Edibot does have some first time contribution tickets that you can do. That's very cool. Right. Welcome back to Streamy. Thanks, Jake. Really appreciate it. Awesome. Stefano, see you soon. GitHub stars, Trustpilot reviews, bad answers only. Oh, I'm reading the chat backwards, just like I'm a bit backwards. Recommended experience is a good one. Oh, I missed that. Thank you, Jake. Let me add that in. It's a bit kind of like LinkedIn, but I don't like LinkedIn. So yeah, experience experience is good. I actually quite like that. That's good. I like that. Thank you. Oh, so this is gold dust. This is brilliant. This is why working by yourself, you kind of you get like, you don't get all these different ideas and feedback and suggestions. Love that. Awesome. Has anyone else tried out GitHub Online IDE? No, not yet. Is that the VS Code one that they announced earlier? The sandbox that you can have a whole environment. I haven't got access yet. When I do get access, I want to do a live stream on it. Or if you know anyone who's got access, then let's let them join me on a live stream and we can all have a play together and all have a look and see how it goes. It was salty. Oh yeah, GitHub Satellite. Yes, that was the one. But I have applied for beta access and I haven't got it yet. So GitHub, anyone from GitHub, if you're watching, I do have some friends at GitHub. let me get access and I can do a live stream on it and we can all have a play. And it'll be interesting to know, can you do like VS Code has the code share? I'll be interested to know if you can do that. I haven't set up the camera behind me, by the way, so I can't give you a quick show of my setup just yet today. Awesome. Thank you all. I love that Jez is saying thanks to Stephen. I love it how everyone answers questions, gives feedback and suggestion. That's how we all get better. So thank you all very much for joining today. Have a great day, and I'll catch you all on the next live stream, which will probably be on the weekend, on Saturday and Sunday. And we do have a live stream tomorrow on my other channel, Code Mortals, where we are doing a technical quiz. So if you want to test your technical knowledge, be it general knowledge, picture round, JavaScript, TypeScript, .NET. We have some .NET questions in there last time, so probably not .NET this time. We might have some Python. Actually, Python we had last time as well. So we mix it up, and we try and keep it agnostic to certain technologies, but it's always quite interesting. Right, have an awesome day, everyone, and I will catch you all soon.